I'm eating a sugar cube to give me energy for this vlog. I'm so dainty. I'm eating a sugar cube. I ate a sandwich earlier, I swear. Hi, I'm Lauren, and this is week 11 of my Reluctant Filmmaker vlog. Week 11. That's like quite an accomplishment, actually. So, this past week, a bunch of random stuff happened. With X Factor Filmmakers, we completed a year in review, so you can go through and see what we did in the past year. And it's the first time that you're going to get an actual proper introduction to Mara Tasker, our second filmmaker, our second creator. And there's a link there to watch the trailer for her short film, Sheila Scorned, that is going through festivals right now, which we are making into a feature film with the studio. So go and introduce yourselves to Mara. Now for Sweet Desert Palm. I've been doing a little brainstorming, a little bit of writing, a little refining of the characters, and bits and pieces of the plot. And in doing research about making all of that really clear and specific, and then how to communicate that to your audience before they actually see the movie, I was looking at Justin Simeon's Dear White People and his whole campaign. He started writing his characters and used Twitter to put them out into the world. And that was pretty genius, I guess, because it just snowballed from there and he kept doing cool things like that. And he built an audience really early, and that's part of why the film is so successful and is getting in like some major theaters across the country, which is pretty much unheard of for a film of like that size. And I was reading this article where he said this really great thing that just hit me. He said, I realized that it's very hard to communicate a film to an audience before they actually see the film. You can't really like fully explain the experience of the film. You have to see it. So he said, what I realized was I needed to find my film's place in the zeitgeist. Meaning that he had to pick out a specific theme from his film that is resonating with society right now. The title of his film just clearly says what he chose, Dear White People. That is not what that movie is completely about. There's a lot more nuance in that film. That was really interesting to me because I realized that I've had a hard time communicating Sweet Desert Palm. So what is that theme? What is the thing that society is like ready for right now with my film? And I think it's girls or women doing quote unquote bad things or being bad. Scandal, one example of it. Orange is the New Black, another example of it. People are like talking about that now. I think that's how Sweet Desert Palm fits into the zeitgeist. And Mara's film, Sheila Scorned, same thing. And this other film that I really can't wait to see, which is A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, where from the title you might think, oh, it's a scary movie and the main character is a girl and she's gonna get scared because she's walking home alone at night. But no, that girl is actually a vampire and she's the thing to be scared of. It's like cool stuff like that. So I started thinking about, well, if the title was going to reflect that, then let's do some brainstorming. And I came up with things like this. I don't know where we're gonna go with this yet. I don't know what the outcome is gonna be, if we're definitely gonna change the title or not. And some people like the title, but it's not specific enough, you know? It just doesn't make you think like, oh, I can totally see all of this, you know, not details, but like there's this like chunk of something to like bite into. And that's what it needs to do. Anyway, that's Sweet Desert Palm for now. Speaking of girls being bad, or being badass maybe, I had a very interesting dream last night, and I don't often remember my dreams. So this was kind of cool. This is what I remember, not very much. I was in the army or something, and I was training for the army. And I was shooting a gun. I shoot my gun fairly well. I sort of chalk it up in my dream. I chalk it up to like beginner's luck, I guess. And like just wanting to impress somebody. Then we all look at our names on a list, and it's sort of like going and checking your high school bulletin board to see whether or not you like got a speaking part in the play or something. and my name is on this like short list for the snipers. And I literally out loud in my dream went, oh fuck. Not out loud while I was sleeping. Well, maybe. Because suddenly I realized that now the Army thinks that I'm potentially a good sniper, which not only is a huge burden, but like I have to kill people for a living. Like definitely kill people versus going in the Army and not necessarily knowing what I'm gonna have to do. No, I'm a sniper. Or now I'm training to be one specifically. So my job is to kill people, which is overwhelming in my brain in my dream. And two, I kind of liked it. I was like, I wanted to be good at that, but it was so complicated. And also, by being a sniper, I am in harm's way because other snipers would want to take me out because I'm taking their people out. So all this went through my brain, and then I go into training. So I literally read my name on this board, and then I like walk in the door, and I'm like, now I'm trying to be a sniper. Okay, focus. And so I sit down, and they like start throwing this equipment at us, and I'm with somebody else. And it's like me and like 7 guys or something like that. I have a partner, and we're looking at this equipment that they're giving us, and they've thrown like what looks like a boot, but at closer glance, it's filled in, so it has like a zipper of some kind in the top. So like, for example, this doesn't make any sense because it's a dream. So like this is the boot, right? Except there wasn't actually a hole, it was a container. So it was like a sniper's piece of equipment disguised as a boot. And my first thought was like, oh, that's clever in my dream. But really, it's not really that clever at all. It doesn't really make any sense. But that was like, oh, you could sneak a boot anywhere. And then there was this other piece of carrying equipment that was like a turtle shell, like a plastic turtle shell backpack kind of thing. And then we took it apart, and it like turns into part of your sniper rifle or your equipment somehow. But the pieces were like all over the place, and all of a sudden it wasn't like together. It wasn't like a transformer. Like that would have been a good design. It was like one of those cars that you, like toy cars that you ram into the wall. It like falls apart, and then you have to put it back together. It like doesn't stay together really that well. And I was like, this is not good. I mean, this boot is gonna bring me safety, but this turtle shell is not, because I'm not gonna be able to put it back together fast enough. And this is what went through my brain in the dream. And then I'm sure we went to like sniper practice, but it ended and I woke up. And then today I was thinking, I had a lot of complex thoughts and emotions in that short period of time in that dream. This would make a really good character for a movie, like a reluctant female soldier. And then I realized that already exists in a dystopian future where there are Hunger Games. Because that's basically Katniss Everdeen. She's really good at shooting a bow and arrow, and she's like constantly recruited, and she has to kill people when she doesn't want to, and she feels all these feelings about it. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I can't really compete with that. So I let it go. That was my dream. Next. What did I see? Oh, wait. I almost forgot. So about 2 weeks ago in New York City, I directed a music video for a friend. The second time I've directed a music video for him. And the first time I have directed something that I have not edited, which is good practice for me because I really shouldn't edit my feature film. Because I should probably get some fresh eyes on it. I saw a couple rough cuts and gave them notes, and everyone's really happy. It's super fun, so it'll be really interesting to see how color correction goes, and you guys will be able to watch that soon. So stand by. What did I watch? What did I consume this week? I looked back at this list and I was like, a little bit too much probably. One thing I binged on, which was awesome, was this show. Well, I guess it was a mini-series in the UK called The Bletchley Circle. And this is about female code breakers after World War II. It's like 9 years later, and they are sworn to secrecy because during the war they did all this secret work, and for some reason they still weren't allowed to talk about it, at this place called Bletchley. And they get so frustrated with what the police basically aren't doing to find this killer of women, and they get the old gang back together. It sounds kind of cheesy, but it's not. They're all very reluctant. They're like housewives or like waitresses, and the characters are really complex and very, very intelligent, but they're like not allowed to tell anybody, basically. So it's a really interesting dynamic I've never seen before. They're all geniuses in different ways, and they all have different skills. And because they're upset with what the police aren't doing, they start taking matters into their own hands, kind of like tentatively at first. And then they get kind of sucked in, and things go bad, and then they go good, and then they go bad again. Really, really interesting. I highly recommend it. I think there's 7 episodes, 3 in the first series season, and then 4 in the second one. Really good. Awesome. Check it out. The Bletchley Circle. I finally watched Boyhood, which I wasn't disappointed by. I really, really enjoyed it. The music specifically. Like every time we changed years, I was taken back to a moment in my life. I love seeing him grow and everybody around him grow from like year to year. I thought that was so cool. It was like watching my little brother grow up again. It was really strange. And I loved the characters. People really focused on it's a movie shot over the period of 12 years in real life. So everybody's aging 12 years. But the movie's like way more than that. The characters are really great. Like all the parents are really great, super complicated, and it's very real. Also on iTunes, I bought the film because you get extra features. So with that comes a DVD commentary from Linklater and some other special featurette. I haven't watched those yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, if you purchase it on iTunes, then you can get those too, which is rare because we don't see DVDs that much anymore, and that's where you usually get extra features, so I'm excited about that. We need more extra features. That's how I got into film, was watching DVD extra features like over and over and over again because I learned so much from that. I watched the 3rd episode of Black Mirror, which is on Netflix. Really weird show. I mentioned it a few blogs ago, where there is just a completely different scenario, different actors, different plot line every episode. They don't connect other than like kind of a dark theme where technology meets like psychological issues and social norms versus an individual going out and doing something odd. Basically, that's the theme. Really cool, very strange. This one was pretty disturbing. There's a chip in behind everyone's ear where you can like, and thanks Dad, you were the one that told me about this. You can record anything and then play it back, and when you play it back, your eyes go like white and you kind of it looks like everyone freezes for a second, and you have like a little, like an Apple TV remote basically, and you like press it and your eyes go white and you go like this and you like don't move, and you're watching like your own life, and everybody does. They're like obsessed. It's like what we're like with our phones now. They just like go over stuff. They're at a party, they like put it up on the TV, they go over what happened today because someone cheated on somebody and now there's evidence of it, that kind of thing. Anyway, it's cray. See it. Black Mirror, Netflix. I also watched probably one too many episodes of Law and Order SVU, which I do all the time. I can't believe I haven't yet seen every single episode. But there are like 13 seasons or something, and I still can't get enough of it. I was watching it this time while I was working, and I really liked that. Is it weird that that's my background show? My boyfriend thinks so. And that's pretty much it, right? Oh, no. And then one more thing. There is this character played by some girl whose name I can't remember right now, named Miranda Sings. And Miranda is a very entertaining, homeschooled idiot, basically, who is like very righteous.
Get out. Are you kidding? I don't think so. Not interested. Not even a try. Get out of my life. No. Perhaps.
And it's weird because at first you don't know it's a character. You're like, this girl's just kind of crazy, or her personality's a little weird. And then you're like, no, this is really weird. No, she's definitely doing a personality. No, she has an entire channel dedicated to this personality, and a lot of people think that it's a real person. But it's not. And then you go and you look up this real person, and she's like this, for lack of a better word, totally normal, like, girl who does musical theater. And I read in one of the comments on YouTube is Ariana Grande's cousin and vocal coach. I don't know if that one's true or not. It might be. I mean, her voice is good enough. And so I watched her YouTube videos, and my favorite YouTube videos so far that I've seen, I haven't seen a lot of them, is Miranda sings in a Slurpee bath or something like that. Look up Slurpee bath. I was dying. And then I told all my girlfriends about her, and they were like, oh yeah, we know about her already, and she's amazing, and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, wow, this girl's like really blowing up. She's got a lot of followers on YouTube, and she does like tours and stuff like that. And then I saw that Jerry Seinfeld had her on his show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Is that what it's called? I always mix the title. I think that's what it's called. And I was like, isn't that cool? She's got this like other generation comedian saying, I get it, like, you're funny, this is great. So yeah, that's what I watched and stuff. And then finally, what we have for you this week is Fashion Time with Lauren. I'm not gonna stand up and do a big thing this time because, frankly, I'm too lazy. So we're just gonna do this close up. I mean, fine, I'll walk back for a second. Okay? I don't even know if my head is in the frame right now. But this is what I'm wearing. Got my Oreo slippers on so I can walk across the street and get some Oreos. Close up. All right, these are my glasses. I don't think I've ever talked about them before. They're fairly new. I looked at glasses for a while, and they're from Etnia, Barcelona, ETNIA. I got them at my mom's work because she's an eye nurse. And they've got this awesome, like, pink strip on the top, if you can see. It might look white, but it's like a very, very, very pale pink that I just thought was so cool. Like, I like tortoiseshell glasses, and I wanted bigger frames, but I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing because everybody's doing that. And I just saw this on top, and I was like, that's just like slightly different enough that I think it's cool. So I got them. On my neck, oh, turn it around. I'm wearing this interesting necklace that has cloth tassels coming off, some metal ones in there too. This is something I love, a snake necklace that I got because it reminds me of one of my characters in my movie, Sienna, because she is either going to wear snake jewelry or have a snake tattoo, or maybe both, because she's a snake and she likes snakes too. And I think I got this actually at H&M. Just wearing a couple rings. This is a friendship ring. My God, again with my friend Amanda. She just gives me everything. This, I don't remember, just a ring. Shirt, cheap shirt, H&M. Wow, I really like H&M. I think this is all H&M. This is like a fuzzy, extremely warm, long sweater. I can put it over anything. H&M. And this is just like an alternative cardigan, kind of cool. Can throw it over anything. I think that's it. As always, you guys can subscribe to me on YouTube to keep getting these vlogs and more behind the scenes content from me, and or subscribe to X Factor Filmmakers at xfactorfilm.com. And that is an email newsletter and other cool updates about Sweet Desert Palm, and now Sheila Scorn with Mara, and anything else we do, like our year in review, which if you haven't checked out, go and do that at the site. Thanks guys, see you next week.
Awesome.